Okay, the other code block that we're going to be looking in Scratch would be this one here, which says ask, and there's a text here, and apparently the code block says and wait. And you also have another code block here saying answer, and let us see what is the functionality of these two code blocks. They go together, although they are individual code blocks. So when it says ask, in whatever the sprite you're going to be with, whatever the sprite you're going to be using this code block here, that particular sprite will be throwing this question to the viewers, and it'll wait for the and wait for what? It'll be waiting for the answer. There'll be a little text box popping up here, because once it asks a question, it also requires an answer. So when you type in the answer and press enter, whatever the answer that's being typed in will get stored into the answer code block here. So I'll go, if you want to look at the previous answer that I typed in, I go tick it here, and this is what I typed in anyway. It just says cloud. Okay, so that's how it shows up. Now that's the answer. You can check it. I've already discussed with the if conditions and if then else. If the condition satisfies, otherwise what happens. So I'm using the same thing here. Now with the asking a question, I will check the answer, and if the answer is correct, I made a variable called as score, and if the answer is correct, my score would go up, and the cat pretty much, or the sprite 1, will give me a message saying if the answer that I entered is correct, or if it is not a correct answer, it would tell me that my answer was wrong for 1 second and the score remains the same. There's no increment in the score. The same set of codes I have repeated 5 times. That's the first question, second question, third question. See, now you can actually see my answers here. It's a meaningless quiz anyway, but just to demonstrate this as an example to you, I'm showing this. Now when I go press the enter key, it asks me a question. Okay, break me easily without even touching, and I know the answer. I'll say promise, promise, press enter, and the answer is promise, and the score is going up. But first, I just found something here. I have to set the score to 0 at the beginning of the quiz. Now I'll go again, press enter, score is 0, break me easily without even touching, I'll say promise, promise, press enter, it checks if my answer is correct, and let's see what it has to say. It says promise. If the answer is promise, say correct. It did say correct for a second and changed the score by 1. The score went up by 1. Now it's asking me a second question, becomes smaller as it gets older, and you can already see the answer here. That's candle. I'm gonna go type. Oh, okay, I just pressed the green key. Now let's go play this little quiz. Score is set to 0. Break me easily without even touching. That'll be promise, press enter, correct. Become smaller as it gets older. That'll be candle, press enter, and the score will go up by 2, and the cat is gonna go and say correct. Right? Bunch of keys that plays music. That's piano, and I'm not gonna enter the correct answer. I'm gonna enter some silly answer. I'll just say keyboard. Well, keyboard has bunch of keys on it, so I just typed in keyboard, and then it's just meant to be a riddle. When I press enter, this cat is gonna say it's a wrong answer, and the score does not go up because I have given it a different answer. Does not have life but can die, and that'll be a battery, and when I press enter it says correct, and the score goes up by 3. No wings but can fly, no eyes but can cry. That'll be a cloud, and press enter, it says correct, score went up to 4. And We're not looking at how to make a simple quiz. What we are looking actually here is we are looking at how to use these code blocks here which says ask and the answer. So that is about these code blocks in sensing. I'm going to get rid of all of these codes actually, and we're going to look at mouse X and mouse Y. Okay, mouse X is the current mouse X position, and which you can see here, the X and Y. Current X position is 121, current Y position is 38, and current X position is 35, current Y position is minus 53. That is not for the sprite, that is for my mouse. So this, as my mouse moves around the stage, my X and Y positions are changing. So what's the big deal about it? Now, for example, here I'll say control when clicked, and I'm going to say forever. Forever, I would tell this cat, hey, go to my X and Y position, right? If I'm going to say 0 and 0, it's going to stay there forever in X and Y position, that is 0 in the middle. But if I want the sprite position, sprite X and Y is different from mouse X and Y. As you see, mouse X and Y is 129 and 12. The sprite X and Y is 0. So if I want this cat to follow the mouse pointer, wherever the mouse pointer goes, I just have to do a magic here. All that I need to do is go to the mouse X position, go to the mouse Y position. I will just press enter. The cat is near my mouse. As I move the mouse, you can see sprite 1 is simply following the mouse pointer. So it goes wherever the mouse pointer is traveling on the stage. So it keeps going all over the stage wherever I put the mouse pointer, and my sprite pretty much goes. I'll just stop that code there. That is mouse X and mouse Y, right? So now let's check if mouse down. For example, here I'll say delete it. I'll use the if condition here. I will grab this if condition, I'll throw this if condition in forever, and I will use an operator saying equal to, right? No, actually delete this one here, sorry. If mouse down is a question, you don't even need an operator, it's a question. Is the mouse key pressed down? So if mouse is down, I would say change y by 1. So which means it keeps going down. So I press enter. Mouse, I haven't pressed the mouse key, so the cat is pretty much where it is standing. Now I press the mouse, it went up, and I press the mouse key, it went up. Doesn't work with my right click though, it has to be only the left click. So if I hold the mouse, the cat is going up. I'll leave it there, and if I'm on the stage, I am holding the mouse button down, and the cat keeps moving up. As I click the mouse, it keeps going up. So that is my mouse down. So that's about the mouse down. Okay, so what is key pressed? If key space is pressed, right? Let's say, we'll make it say hello. So I pressed, I'll just say here, delete it, and then say hello for 2 seconds. Actually, 1 second. I'll stop this code and I'll press enter. I hold the space key, it shows hello. When I release, it doesn't say hello anymore. So as I'm holding the space key, it's saying hello for 1 second, and when I lift the space key, it is not saying the same. When I press the A key, I'll say A key pressed, okay? And I'll say I press the A key pressed, and I release the A, it doesn't show anything. So that is pretty much about the sensing and when a particular key is pressed. Okay, distance to mouse pointer. This is pretty interesting. Delete, delete. I would say distance to mouse pointer is greater than, I'll say distance to mouse pointer, because I don't have any other sprite here. I'll say distance to mouse pointer is greater than, I will say less than 10, right? I would say go to a random location, or I would say just change Y by 10. I'm running. You see that this is highlighted. My mouse is ages away from the cat, probably about 50 to 70 pixels. But if this is going to be less than 10, my cat is going to slightly move down. Let's see. Distance to mouse pointer. Right. Stop that code there. Right. Probably 5 or 10 is too less. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go press enter, and let's see. I said if the distance to mouse pointer is less than 60, and I say change Y by 10. So when I go very close to it, nothing happens yet. We will just, actually, I will make it say continuously, say distance to my mouse pointer, duplicate it. Okay, I'll press enter. Distance to mouse pointer is 181, and see, it is 63.07. So if this number, if I'm going to make my mouse pointer get close to it, which will be less than 60, it just simply changes its Y position. See, as I get it really closer, it moves away. It moves away from the mouse pointer. I'll stop the code, and again I'll put it right on top. I'll put it right on top here. I will run the code. So if I'm gonna see, it's saying, hey, the distance from the mouse pointer is 132. But if I take it really close, how close? Less than 60, the cat starts moving down. So that is distance to the mouse pointer. How far is it? We can do the same thing for another sprite. I'll just make another sprite here, and I would say that's my sprite 2. So instead of mouse pointer, I would say here, if distance to sprite 2, distance to sprite 2. But, and here, what I would do, I would go here and say when this is pressed, I will put a forever loop, and I would simply go and then say, go to, as I said, mouse X and mouse Y. For this set of codes, when I press enter, what happens is this red dot here keeps following the mouse pointer. But when I take the red dot less than 60 pixels of distance, my cat would be moving down. Let's check this code out. So I enter. Now it's telling, the cat is saying, hey, look, it's at 160.24 distance. I keep increasing the distance, right? And this sprite 2 is just following my set of codes again here, and then simply following